So we were discussing how, to some people's interpretation, the business failed.
Oh yeah, just that you don't have to do this forever if you decide you don't like it or you want to move on to something else.
Yeah.
Right. There's lots of people out there who start small businesses and sell them, and that's their life. They've had 3 or 4 small businesses that they've since sold off. And they're extremely successful, very lucrative.
Yeah. I mean, I never thought about getting into online education, and increasingly that's where a lot of my time is going. I'm teaching online,
and I think that's great. I think within acupuncture, I still see there's a certain amount of people that are embracing it, and educators that are embracing it. People that are having there's online seminars, there's online groups of people talking together. But okay. But I think. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by the cutest people in the world. But one thing, when I was building my website, I was looking through, and a lot of acupuncturists don't list their rates on their website. And I think that's from an older age. A fair amount of acupuncturists are not anti-technology and computer, but they just they don't want to use it.
Okay.
So they put kind of basic stuff on there.
So what percentage? I'm going to ask this question. I need to know this. What percentage generally don't want to use it?
That's really hard to say, especially for me because.
It's in general.
I mean,
Make up a number.
3.
3.
That's amazing.
No, I mean a percentage.
I mean, it's hard because now I've been teaching in school where there are younger acupuncturists and they're into it. But the landed elite, right? The landed elite. They're not really elite, but long-term acupuncturists that have been practicing for 10, 20 years in this country.
Yeah.
Their websites are awful.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm sure that's true of massage therapists.
Oh, I know massage.
Yeah. But
even my website isn't up to snuff compared to what I would like it to be.
Yeah, for sure. Mine either.
But the thing is, what I notice is massage therapists and wellness practitioners, I deal with massage therapists more often, they're missing a huge potential and huge option for business growth. That they would. It's not learning to code.
Well, yeah, it's not.
It's having a good website.
Hardler.
Putting information.
Apple and everything. What are you talking about?
You were saying.
I'm saying that wellness practitioners are missing a huge potential. So I'll just make up a number and I'll say 80% of not massage therapists, 80% of acupuncturists don't have a really nice website. They're not producing social media content, video content, educational information, blog posts, Instagram stories.
I would say 60% have decent websites.
Yeah.
And I would say 30% have really good websites. Yeah. But that leaves another 40 to 70% that could definitely improve.
I think within the course of a year, if I was working with you in an ongoing way, I think you could outperform 70 to 80% of the marketplace in your industry just by doing stuff like this.
Sweet, let's do it.
I'm serious.
Yeah, no, I'm
the thing is, people in the massage industry, they talk about me in Austin, and they go, "Man, that guy's kind of a jerk," because the people know me, right? And the thing is, I think from their standpoint, they're like, "How is this guy how is he continuing to do what he does?" And they're kind of confused by it, and what they don't understand is I work on my business unrelentingly. This is my day off, and we're shooting video content because this is going to go up on my YouTube channel. It's going to have keywords attached to it. I can put it together in a blog post. I can cross-promote with your business. I'm providing them interesting information about acupuncture. I'm the only one in Austin doing this consistently as a massage therapist that I know.
Yeah. Right, and I don't think there's much in that in acupuncture either. But just going back to basics, right? People don't even put their charges Yeah. Their costs.
Fees.
Yeah, thank you. I'm like, why is this a hard word to think of? But, and I think, like, that's from this old idea that, like, people will see it and they will call you, and then you have them engaged, right? Like, those are, like, old school sales tactics that I think don't work anymore. Like, my opinion is, like, you know, I'm a millennial. I identify strongly with millennial. I'm on the, like, later end of it, right? They're trying to call us Xennials now. Sort of Gen X millennials. But I really appreciate millennial culture, and I think for me, like, going to a website that doesn't have all of the information that I need, like, I get resentful. I'm like, why? You're gonna make me call you?
Ah, interesting. Okay.
Like, why don't you just have all of that? Why have a website?
Yeah.
You know?
So
just have a
lot
phone
of
book listing.
massage therapists treat a website like a billboard. There's some information up and people know about me. What I think they're not looking at is the website needs to be a way of gathering data, of collecting an email address so that you can email that person later. Which is why I put a free workbook, you know, this workbook in a PDF form on my website, because either client or potential student, they can download this for free. I'm just giving you free stuff. Oh, you came to my website? A billboard can't do that.
Right.
My website says, hey, I'll give you a free workbook if you give me your email address, and then they may not talk to me again for years. But it's amazing to me how many students, you know, they'll come to class, they'll say, hey, how did you know about class? And they're like, oh, I got an email. And I go, oh, when'd you get on my email list? And they're like, oh, like 2 years ago.
Nice.
Because it's just this ongoing ticker tape of the website's providing information and collecting data. You're collecting an email address. It's like, for you, it's interesting. I've never thought about that, because I think most massage therapists put their fees on their website now. I don't remember the last time. You know, I think somebody asked a question about it recently, but I think most massage therapists put the fees up.
I would say at least half of the websites I went to when I was doing my research didn't have fees listed.
Huh.
And I remember being like, really?
Yeah.
Like, I would be so frustrated as a human, like, as, like, a potential patient.
Yeah.
That, like, you aren't telling me how much you're charging. Right? That also makes me feel like either it's way too much or it's negotiable.
Yeah.
You know?
The website also, you know, if you put reviews, you can have reviews from a third-party source like Google or Yelp or Facebook. You can sort of post those reviews on your website with their logo so they can tell it came from Yelp. They can actually go to your Yelp profile and check it out to see it's a legit review. You're providing information, but you're also collecting data. You know, it's like some people have like kind of automated scripts where a bot will pop up and like ask them questions. If you have questions about our practice, please let us know. We'll respond. You know, there's all this stuff, and what I see is that the technology is growing. It's not getting lessened. You know, I've done things where I'm communicating with people, and in social media posts, I don't just leave my phone number. I'll leave my Instagram, and I'll say, hey, you know, if you have a question about practice. If you have a question about class coming up, you can, and I'll leave it. I'll leave my phone number so they can text me, and then I'll leave my Instagram handle because I'm hoping they'll follow me. And I'll say, if you want to contact me, just video, because they can say, hey, I have a question. How long is the class? When does it start? It's like I'm just as likely to respond to an Instagram video, a quick message, as I am like a text.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
It's good to think about.
Yeah. The interaction with the website, it's, you know, you're sending them to your social media channels if they want, you're cross-referencing back and forth, you're providing information, collecting data.
One thing that I have seen that I think is like super important for acupuncturists is online booking, right? Because especially for acupuncturists, like getting like, I think we can see more people per volume than massage therapists, simply because of the ways in which our modalities work.
Yeah.
Right? And so getting people to sign up, we also have a much larger scope of practice. And when you have a large referral network, when you have like, and like I go to doctors and I'm like, hey, I really like treating headaches. And they're like, really? Because I hate treating headaches. They're like, oh, and fibromyalgia. They're like, great, please, yes, I will send you all of my patients. So we have a larger scope of practice and get a lot, like not that you guys don't treat headaches or fibromyalgia, but I think especially in Austin, there's a much more openness with medical doctors to work with acupuncturists than necessarily massage therapists. Mm-hmm. And having that ability for people to just like go online and find out all about you, find out your fees, book everything, and never have to talk to you until they come in, like that's the future.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's for me. Like, I don't even want to like have to call a place to order food.
When online scheduling hit my practice, my first thought was, wait a second, I don't need this. I message my clients, text, call, like we scheduled the appointments, and then we went ahead and added it. And when I added it, I remember the first time like an appointment came through because they could see my schedule. They could see it was open. It was 1 o'clock in the morning. They scheduled the appointment. We never had a phone call.
Right.
What I saved was time.
Yeah.
And it was convenient for them.
Yeah.
Online scheduling, in my opinion, in the last 20 years is one of the biggest innovations in the massage industry.
Yeah, I mean, I think in everything.
Yeah.
Even like, I think, even like visiting your doctor, you can now like sometimes schedule online.
Yeah. Is it easy for them to schedule an appointment? If it's not easy, you have a much lower likelihood.
Right.
When you had to call a spa and the spa's phone was busy, guess what? They would call the place underneath and say, did they answer the phone?
Mm-hmm.
But if you have online scheduling, oh, no, it's right here. I can book right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then it's just about getting up on that Google.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Which is either paying for ads or, increasing search engine optimization, making videos.
I mean, I think I'm probably going to, I feel like AdWords is something I'm interested in.
Google AdWords as opposed to Facebook. I've seen this discussion recently, and massage therapists are saying, no, Google AdWords is way better. Here's the difference. In this case, they were paying $20 for each new client they got, which is good. They're making $60 or so maybe, $40 to $60 in profit off of that client when they come in. I think they can do the same thing on Facebook for $2. The difference is this ad is completely different than this. These people on Google are searching for massage in your area. They found you, or in your case, acupuncture. Facebook, that ad is different. This isn't just a billboard. Hey, come buy something. To me, there's a difference. To me, it's...
So you're saying Facebook is a billboard, come buy something?
No.
Okay, but what is Facebook then?
So Facebook is an ad platform, but I think if you're putting the same ad on Google, which is they're looking for massage, they find you. They're looking to buy. Are they looking to buy when they're on Facebook?
They're looking to buy when they're on Facebook?
Are they looking to buy?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Right.
They're looking to connect.
Oh, okay.
And that's what the difference is. The massage therapists are treating Google AdWords like Facebook is the same thing. And I'm like, no, make a video where you demonstrate your tips and techniques for headaches in Austin specifically. Now, use use Facebook's keywords to target people with headaches within a 30-minute range of you.
Okay.
And then walk them through a video series on your Facebook page where you're showing them how to work on their own headaches, because we're interested in having clients, in my case, that work on themselves.
Right.
And I say, hey, listen, after every little video, listen, if you're interested in coming in and getting a session, we're offering a 20% discount right now for people who come in and book. But do you see how the ad was completely different than this is ready to sell?
Yeah, totally.
But the thing is, the cost per acquisition, $2 to $20. See the difference? What I'm most interested in my experience, is I'm not just as interested in just getting a client. And massage therapists will kind of battle me on this. I want to build a following.
Yeah, I don't know that. Yeah, I think I'm not in that boat.
You don't want to build a following.
No.
You want clients.
Are those the only two options?
No.
Cool.
Because the reason I build a following is why?
You tell me.
To get clients. Because if you build 100,000 followers, you're going to get 1,000 clients.
Sure.
What I think is the mistake is just to focus on clients. Mm-hmm. I think it's a little bit off.
So I've had this sort of discussion with myself around marketing, especially within as an acupuncturist, and how I feel it's different than massage. I feel like, and we've talked about this in some of the earlier videos about acupuncture being a little more medical.
Yeah.
Right? And I've had some experiences with acupuncturists when I was first starting out getting it with some kind of like branding, packaging, hard sells.
Yeah.
And like it made me feel really like I stopped getting acupuncture because if like this is my health, right? It's I feel like it's what I'm getting from acupuncture, what I'm going to acupuncturists for is very different than what I'm getting from massage. And there's this part of it that feels it's hard to describe, but there's something like I don't want to sell to people who aren't looking to buy. Mm-hmm. So when you say like people on Facebook, like hearing that just now, I'm like, I'm more interested in AdWords because I feel like people are looking for it when they get AdWords, right? And that feels good to me. If someone's looking for acupuncture, then I feel comfortable talking to them or giving them acupuncture. Whereas when they're just like on Facebook, like, I don't know, I don't want to. Advertising is all about emotional manipulation. Can we say that?
It is. Now, are you selling or are you offering? I think there's a difference.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think you said the hard sell.
Right, and I did hate that.
You got to come in right now. You got to buy. You got to.
Right, they were like, you need 10 packages.
Yep.
You need to sign up for it now. If you don't, the price is going to change. And I'm like, this is like, this is healthcare.
But here's the thing. That's where, for your emotional and energetic resonance with that, I would encourage you to go the opposite direction.
Okay.
What I'm really most invested in is having you and massage therapists build heartfelt, resonant practices.
Okay.
And also make them money. And if you say, and the thing is, I'm not fighting Google AdWords at all.
Right.
What I am saying is, building a following online creates reviews. Building a following online builds fans. Building a following online where you're educating, your Facebook becomes a ticker tape of information and stuff about, in your case, acupuncture, Chinese medicine, theory, educating the kind of clients you want to work with.
I don't like the word following. It makes me think too much of a guru, which makes me think too much of Rajneesh. We all saw that.
But I'm your follower.
We all... Really?
Yeah.
What will you do?
I follow you on social media.
Right. And I get,
connection.
Well, I just realized, right, like I'm having this like older definition of this word that like,
sure,
millennials and whatever these new ones are, they don't like.
How do you feel
follow
about fan? How do you feel about fan?
Okay. So when we were just talking about it, I was like, I like to think of myself as a resource.
A resource, okay.
Like I want to be a resource for people.
What do you call people that tap into that resource?
Learners.
I
don't know.
No, and you can. The thing is, when I use that word, I don't mean it maybe.
Yeah, totally.
Because people read like interpretation into it. What I'm saying is, so I run the Thai Massage Jam in Austin. Mm-hmm. I'm essentially, all these years, I've donated my time. I work on people for free. They're paying $5 to come to the jam.
I know, I've come to get it.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, why did I continue doing that? Because I was interested in building fans, followers, and in your case, what I call a learner. There are people, they're never going to pay to come get a full session from me. Why did I continue to give them free bodywork, education, information through that event?
That's really interesting.
They make tons of noise.
So, when I first started into practice, my friends would be online, or I'd be on social media, and people in my network and in my community would be all like, would be like, I'm having this severe medical issue. And I was always just like, oh, I don't want to be all like, you should come get acupuncture from me.
Yeah.
You know, I was that doesn't feel good to me, and so I had to sort of negotiate around that. And the way I did that was to be all like, hey, I think acupuncture would be really good for you. So educate them. Acupuncture is great for your condition.
Yeah.
And then I would be all like, if you're interested, PM me and I will give you resources close to you. Because Austin, like, you know, traffic. And people would and some people would PM. They'd be like, "Hey, I want to get acupuncture." I'd be like, "Great, what's your price range? Where are you at?"
Yeah.
And I'd be like, "Cool, this person is there." You know, and I would, you know, I'd be like,
so
here's a low price point, here's a medium price point, here's a high price point, here's me.
The way that I would deal with it is the person has written. I'm going to make up a scenario.
Okay.
They've written on Facebook. They say they have shoulder pain. You want to tell them, listen, acupuncture is great for shoulder pain. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, the reason you're doing that is to give them information or to try to get them to become a client. Is that right?
Well, since it's my friends and network, mostly it's like, you need acupuncture. So let's say it's like, you know, it's like an autoimmune disorder.
Okay.
You know, and I'm like, and they need relief.
Yeah.
Like, I want them to feel better.
Yep.
And that's where it sort of came around, because it's like, I don't need you to come to me.
Mm-hmm.
I just want you to get acupuncture.
Okay, so here's how it works. Because you and your heartfelt resonance around that is the exact same thing I have. Regardless if we disagree about the word follower or like how AdWords or Facebook is used. What I chose to do is I made videos about, in your case, it would be autoimmune disorders and acupuncture. I would make those videos in a series. I would have those as like long-term storage on my YouTube channel. I could grab that link, and when I said, hey, I think you could benefit from acupuncture. Here's a video I made about autoimmune disorders and acupuncture. It's been sitting there in a library, in a vault, right? Generating Google backlinks and SEO. Mm-hmm. But now you've given them helpful information. When you said that, you did not say even once, come see me for acupuncture. You just provided them some information.
Right. But then I also provide them with other acupuncturists based on their price point. And that's the part that felt best to me.
Okay.
So I feel like if I give them the video, the implication is that they should come see me, and I'm not like... Because you need an acupuncturist.
Because I don't know where they are. With this social media, they could be in New York, right? Mm-hmm. You can say, listen, it looks from your profile like you're in New York. If you need some help finding an acupuncturist in your area, let me know.
Great, I love that.
And here's what happens. Now you get on Instagram.
Right, and then I find someone.
And you try to find someone, or you get on Google, you try to find someone.
Facebook.
They got to give information so that you can find someone who's comparable to what you do. And now what you do is you link that person in the conversation. Because you've just given that other professional a referral. Is that professional now more likely to develop a sort of connection with you digitally?
Mm-hmm.
I think so, because now we're digital networking. The networking is no longer just handshakes and like a boardroom and business cards.
Right.
The thing is, if you're most focused on providing information, you know, sort of whatever you consider that heartfelt resonance, I think that heartfelt resonance can be amplified using that, which is digital distribution, recording, and reproduction.
Yeah, I see a lot of acupuncturists in particular that interact in ways that don't feel great to me.
Then avoid that.
Right.
And then the thing is, so fundamentally, there's an ethical piece that you have a challenge with. Mm-hmm. And then when I say that, what I mean is, you don't want to replicate what you see. The reason I work for myself is I did not want to replicate what I saw in other massage businesses because it did not have a heartfelt resonance for me. And then I leaned on this heavily to put out my message, which was heartfelt and allowed me to draw people who were interested more in my vision. There are other people who teach Thai massage. I've had people repeatedly say, the reason I study with you is because you're completely on fire. Like, you're so passionate about what you do. Your message, your story just resonates with me. I want to study with you. Because they were able to develop a connection with me through that. And I think also when you provide that information to that person, you weren't going for the hard sell. I don't respond well to the hard sell either. But if you talk to me about acupuncture and say, Robert, I know you're still having problems with your knee. I know that you've been doing soft tissue work on it, but it hasn't seemed to improve past a certain point. Would you be interested in trying acupuncture for it? This is how I think it might help.
Yeah.
Because then you're just laying out a platter and letting me choose. Because if
Totally.
I say no, what I've learned to do is I don't have any emotional resonance to it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, well, there's somewhere else in life. That's fine.
I've recently gotten to the place where I feel like I'm not taking care of people's issues around cost when I'm trying to engage them. Because I'm like, oh, well, I charge this much, but if that's too much for you, maybe we can negotiate, And I've stopped doing that and been more like, cool, here's what I charge. If that's too much, there are cheaper people in town who I think are good, and I will refer you. And that feels better ethically, but it also feels like I'm honoring myself more.
Yes.
Right? I'm recognizing how much I'm worth. Mm-hmm. Which was some big stuff.
And the thing is, you're talking about not just the finance, and we're not just talking about social media. We're really talking about the heartfelt experience in our practices. And that's what I think, to me, is the future. It's having independent therapists, practitioners, wellness-based practitioners be able to wrap their heartfelt presence around their social media to put their story out, to draw people who understand what your costs are, who understand that you're most interested in helping people. The reason I provide all those videos is because they can help themselves at home. I have no vested interest in I absolutely make a sale.
Yeah. And I think that was what all healers have always been about. I think that's I firmly believe that's what medical doctors were about, and that's why they got into medicine. Getting to know more and more doctors and understanding how insurance billing works. Insurance will pay for 5 minutes of the doctor's time with you. If your doctor spends more than 5 minutes with you, they are not being reimbursed. They're not getting paid for that within the industry. Mm-hmm. There's no way you can create that heartfelt connection and wrapping in 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. So there are doctors out there who do that. Okay. But a lot of them are sort of stuck in this system where they're not allowed to. But I firmly believe that they want to, and they have, they've always wanted to. So I love that idea, and I think that's what all healers are about.
Yeah. If a doctor spends 10 minutes with a client and they've lost, those 5 minutes, if they actually have a good connection and resonance with that patient, are they then going to get that patient's husband, children,
well, but the problem
referrals?
I don't feel like when's the last time you went to the doctor or even tried?
I mean, a dentist, but...
Okay, yeah, but wait lists are weeks or months. Everyone I know who gets the flu, they're like, yeah, I wanted to go to the doctor, but it was 3 weeks before they could see me. Doctors aren't hurting for patients.
Yeah.
It's not that they don't need referrals oftentimes.
Yeah, once you deal with the medical profession to that degree, I think you're also dealing with insurance billing and something that's... why did you choose not to go into that?
Well, because of my experiences within Tai Chi and Qigong. I was drawn into Chinese medicine from another angle. Yeah. I was never actually
because people tell me all the time, they're like, why don't you go to school to become a physical therapist? And I'm like, I have no interest. Mm-hmm. And they're like, why don't you go to school to become a chiropractor? I'm like, I have no interest. And they're like, what? And I'm like, I have to go $100,000 into debt to do those things. And in a chiropractor's case, it means I'm going to give adjustments and spend 10 minutes with a client, if that. There's no connection to me compared to what I wanted to do. And that's the whole thing. It's once you get to medical care, I think you're getting to another level. When it comes to your private practice and putting out information about you, what makes you special, why do people want to connect with you, you have more advertising and marketing capacity for free than at any time in human history.
Right, yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
But, so getting more back to how to build my practice. Like, how do I figure out what makes me special? How do I figure out what makes me